I've recently upgraded my coffee making game at home by using a French press. French press is pretty simple. You add coffee to the bottom, pour in hot water, and let it steep for a few minutes. And then what you do is use a plunger, push down slowly, so you get coffee coming to the top and the grounds stay on the bottom. So here's how I make coffee at home. In my previous video, most instructions for coffee calls for 1 rounded tablespoon per 6 ounces of water. And I found that for my coffee in the morning, I use 500 milligrams of water, or 500 milliliters, and 3 tablespoons was good enough, or 20 to 25 grams. So now, which works out to about roughly 3 tablespoons per the instructions. So trying to figure out a rounded tablespoon. It's just slightly overflowing, so I just keep adding, usually about 3. So that's 2, that's 14. And I usually scoop and give it a little shake. And that's 22 right there. So that's usually good enough. For me, I'd like anywhere between 20 to 25. So I shoot for the middle, 22 or 23. Alright, to the coffee I've added 500 grams of water. It's slightly over, but that's close enough. And I'll just put the top on this, and you don't plunge yet. I guess this helps retain the heat. And for the steeping time, I allow about 6 minutes. That's what I found to be good. The instructions, they actually say 4 to 5, but I found 6 to be pretty good. So I'll let this steep for 6 minutes. Alright, the timer has gone off. It's been 6 minutes, and now I just slowly plunge the coffee through the filter. And I'm just going nice and slow. With ground coffee, pre-ground coffee, there's a lot of coffee grounds that are different sizes. I don't want to force all the little bits to go through the filter. I'm just being nice and gentle, pushing it through at a constant rate. And hit the bottom. Alright, pouring the coffee is pretty straightforward now that I've plunged it. With the lid, there's an opening that you could rotate this to. And now you could pour the coffee. And I tend to hold on to the lid. It doesn't make a difference. But just in case. Nice hot coffee. You can smell the fresh aroma of freshly brewed coffee. And the amount I make fills this mug to the rim, almost overflowing. And that's my cup of coffee for the day. One thing about using a coffee press, it's a small cylinder, makes it difficult to clean because I've tried different ways of cleaning this. And when I reach my hand in to try to pull things out, my hands get covered and it's a small hole. And what I usually do and have been trying out is use a fine mesh strainer, and then I throw a used paper towel over it or a used napkin to catch any coffee grounds. I don't want to pour these grounds directly into the sink and into the sewer line, because over the course of a month, you go through a can of coffee. I don't want that stuck in the um, sewer. So what I've done is try different things, and basically I could use a spoon to get most of this out. And the rest of it I'll just rinse and drain through. Same thing with the lid. The ground's caught here. I just rinse it into the container and try to catch at least 90% of the grounds from going down the sink, or quite a bit. And I just pour the rest through the filter and make sure I don't knock it over and just accidentally send it down the sink. So I just stir and pour. Since coffees have natural oils in them, I'll wash this with soap and water, and it's ready for the next day. And I generally just give a light scrub. About once a week I'll take this apart. The shaft will unscrew from the base, and then you could take this apart, and then I could wash individually the individual components and sometimes I'll just go halfway and just separate it some more, wash out any extra coffee grounds caught in between, and just tighten it back up. Rinse out the soap thoroughly and allow it to dry for the next day.